Till now in the chapter we saw that article written by the author uh, about the green movement, the awareness created by green movement, the awareness coming in the human beings that they the shift from dominance to partnership, that is coexistence, and then various other things, the report of Brand Commission by Lester R. Brown, and the cutting of the forest, and all these things. Now, a 3-year study using satellites and aerial photography conducted by the United Nations warns that the environment has deteriorated so badly that it is critical in many of the 88 countries investigated. So, somewhere back in 90s, United Nations conducted a survey using satellite imaging and aerial photography, and it came with the conclusion that most of the 88 countries investigated, many of the countries, 88 countries investigated, the environment was very bad, in very bad condition. Now here author talks about what is the chief reason behind this problem. There can be no doubt that the growth of world population is one of the strongest factors distorting the future of human society. The population explosion, uh, the uh, the population increase in such a rapid manner, and that is one of the chief factors. It took mankind more than a million years to reach the first billion. That was the world population around the year 1800. By the year 1900, a second billion was added, and the 20th century has added another 3.7 billion. The present world population is estimated at 5.7 billion. Okay, that was back in 1994. But right now we all know the world population is around 7.5 billion. Every 4 days, the world population increases by 1 million. Now, author says fertility falls as income rise, education spreads, and health improves. So, how will people become more aware about the control on population? It will only happen when there will be education. If there will be education, naturally there will be rise in income and a better health condition for everyone. So, author feels that development is the best contraceptive. When will be their development? When there will be work for everyone, income, income, good health services, and he feels that this development is the best birth control method that can be over there. But he is apprehensive, he is doubtful when he says that birth development itself may not be possible in the present increase if the present increase in the number continues. If the population continues to grow like this, there is no check on it. So naturally, the development may not be possible at all. The rich get richer and the poor beget children, which condemns them to remain poor. More children does not mean more workers, merely more people without work. Earlier, the belief was that more the people, more the number of hands. But now it is more the people, more the mouths to be fed, and less people and more people with work. It is not suggested that human beings be treated like cattle and compulsorily sterilized. Now, what is done in the case of the animals? To control their population, they are sterilized. But that is not possible in the case of the human beings. But then, author says there is no alternative to voluntary family planning without introducing an element of coercion. So it should be an awareness among the human beings that they should think about controlling the number of people in the family, and without any force, without coercion. Coercion here means force. There should be no element of coercion, because if this will not happen, then nothing else can happen. And so the choice is really between control of population and perpetuation of poverty. Either we control the population or we continue with the poverty. The population of India is estimated to be 920 million today. That was back in 1994. Today we know it is 1.3 billion. More than the entire populations of Africa and South America put together. No one familiar with the conditions in India would doubt that the hope of the people would die in their hungry hutments unless population control is given topmost priority. If population control is not done, there will be no development. Everyone is aware of that. For the first time in human history, we see a transcending concern, the survival not just of the people but of the planet. So, for the first time, this concern, and this concern has happened because of the awareness created by the various agencies. It is not only the survival of the people that is the major concern, but the survival of the planet itself. We have begun to take a holistic view of the very basis of our existence. The environmental problem does not necessarily signal our demise, it is our passport for the future. Environmental problem, if it is there, it does not give a signal that it is going to be end for us. No, but it actually that is a passport for the future, because this environment will be passing on to the future generation. And what is a passport used for? Passport is used for traveling from one country to another country. So from one generation to another generation, this will continue. The emerging New World Vision has ushered in the era of responsibility. It is a holistic view, an ecological view, seeing the world as an integrated whole rather than a dissociated collection of parts. So, an era of responsibility has emerged, and the world is now not seen as dissociated part, but rather a whole, integrated whole. Industry has a most crucial role to play in this in this new era of responsibility. An author feels that what a transformation would be affected if more businessmen shared the view of the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Bullard, who 5 years ago declared himself to be the company's chief environmental officer. He says that in this present era of responsibility, industry has to change its attitude, and if everyone believes and behaves in the same manner as the chairman of DuPont, Mr. Edgar S. Bullard, had done, who 5 years ago had declared himself to be the company's chief environmental officer. And that really shows that he is more concerned about the environment. And according to him, our continued existence as a leading manufacturer requires that we excel in environmental performance. It is not only that we are, according to him, that his company is a leading manufacturer, but at the same time, he feels that the company, the industry should also look into the uh, matter of excelling in environmental performance, that is protection and preservation of environment. Of all the statements made by Margaret Thatcher during the years of her prime ministership, Margaret Thatcher, also known as the Iron Lady, was contemporary of Mrs. Indira Gandhi, one of the most powerful and influential prime ministers of England in the 20th century. In a meeting or summit, most probably in Rio de Janeiro, she said something, and that has now become a very famous quote. She says, "No generation has a freehold on this earth. All we have is a life tenancy with a full repairing lease." No generation has a freehold, means this earth is not the property of any generation. Every generation is just like a tenant, and every generation is living here with a lease, and that lease is a full repairing lease. So every generation has to take care that whatever they have got, they have to protect it, preserve it, and pass it on to the other generation in the same condition. In the words of Mr. Lester Brown, we have not inherited this earth from our forefathers. We have borrowed it from our children. Now, whenever we inherit something, that becomes our property, and we can use it as we like it. But Lester Brown says that this earth is not something that we have inherited from our forefathers, from our parents, from our previous generation. Rather, we have borrowed it. And whenever a thing is borrowed, it is always to be returned and always taken care of, that it is not in a bad condition or bad shape, and people try to return it in the better condition. So we have borrowed this planet from our children, that is future generation, and we have to return it to them in a better condition with better environment. So that was the explanation of the chapter uh, Ailing Planet, the Green Movement's Role by Nani Palkhiwala.